So the second thing the people from Norway wanted to know was a little bit more about the car I call my mistress. I gave it a quite nice little nickname like that, so when I tell the wife I'm out driving my mistress, she knows I'm with my car and not with some little floozy. So I'll bring you guys through my car a little bit here. This is my street car, daily driver in the summer. I use it for drag racing. I'm planning on doing some autocross racing with it this summer. Little cruises, car shows, just have fun with it. Drive it on the street, drive it to work, whatever. So I'll let you guys know a little bit about my car here. So this is my street car. It started out as a 79 Camaro Berlinetta. The Berlinetta was known as the businessman's sport coupe back in the day. There was not much sport in it. 350 engine producing a mild 190 horsepower. It's a 350 Chevrolet engine, which is different than the Oldsmobile one I showed you in the last video. Had a turbo 350 transmission and 241 open rear differential in the rear, which was great for cruising along, Sunday driving, decent fuel mileage, 479. Not much sport though. Things have changed a little bit since then, and I'll show you some of that stuff. From the outside here, you can see I've added a Z28 hood scoop onto it. I had just a flat hood before. 17-inch wheels have been added. Nice little update. Love my 17s. 245, 45, 17-inch tires up front. 275, 40, 17s in the rear. Nice wide. I get lots of traction out of these. These are Nito NT 555 tires. Just the street ones. There is drag racing ones. There is competition autocross, street racing type ones. These are just the regular street tires. Been doing pretty good. Alright, let's go underneath the hood and see what I've done there. Open the hood. Underneath here, if you're familiar with engines, this is not your small block Chevy 350. This engine is a 2005 6-liter LS series engine. They called it the LQ4 out of a 2005 Chevy 2500. Things are a little different. There's no distributor. We have individual coil packs for every spark plug. I changed this thing, was fuel injected to a carburetor, which is very nice. It is my favorite induction system as of now. Who knows, fuel injection might get me eventually. For now, loving the carburetor. We have gone to electric fans, front and rear of the rad. If we can see that one down in there, no we can't. Controlled by a fan controller here. So that is temperature operated off the motor. Works very well. MSD box right there controls all the ignition timing and everything off of the coil packs through the original crank sensor and cam sensor. Keeps everything timed to a T. A little bit about this engine. Underneath these nice red valve covers, I have 1.8 to 1 roller rockers underneath there. Factory ones are 1.7. They're only roller in the center on the fulcrum, not on the tip. These are full roller, which means they have rollers on both. The camshaft inside has gotten a little bit bigger. We're sitting about 563 lift on the intake, 566 on the exhaust if I remember right. I have to check my cam card just to make sure. This thing has been through a few motors, like I said. We've had several small block Chevys in here. Started with the original 350. I destroyed that one. A little too much high RPM screaming. I had a little 305 in here at one point. It was doing not too bad. I've had a big block Chevy in here. It was really fun. But this LS series engine has been the most fun and the best engine I've had in here so far. When I had the big block in it, we did not have room for a vacuum style brake booster. So I switched to a hydro boost system, which runs off the power steering. This is way more common in Chevy trucks and stuff like that, because with the diesel engines, the hard pulling they do, the vacuum just isn't there. So they go with the hydro boost system. it's actually been very nice. I got this one out of a 99 Chevy pickup. I like to get things from auto wreckers if I can when it works. Some stuff you just have to go brand new. It's your call. I do what I have to do. You do what you gotta do. Yeah, so it was a very fun swap getting this in here. The motor mounts are readily available. Headers are somewhat readily available. They cost a little bit of a fortune. I mated this thing up to a 4-speed standard. I did that swap when I put the big block in here. I needed a special 0.4-inch thick flywheel to mate this engine to the old Super T10 4-speed. So that cost an arm and a leg. It is SFI approved for racing, but yeah, it was expensive. I had to cut a hole in the hood for clearance with the big block because this one's a fairly tall motor too, with the intake and everything on it for the carburetor. I've got a drop base air cleaner. It still needed that hood hole. Thankfully the scoop still works for me. We're not rubbing on it quite yet, but we're close. Yeah, I will show you some of the rest of the car. All right, going inside the car here now. Put a little light in there so we can see what we're doing. All right, I've changed a few things here. For one, like I said, I have the 4-speed. Has made this car a lot more fun to drive, trust me. Changed the console to my black 4-speed one out of my old car, the 81, or the 80 Z28. We've changed this out. This is not the factory gauge cluster anymore. I have all autometer gauges in here now. That's why I changed this out. I had to pre-drill my own turn signal holes and high beam indicator, and the turn signal. Had to pre-drill those and put LEDs in there. These were meant more for racing dashes rather than a street driven dash. They did have everything to put my windshield washer and a headlight switch in there, thankfully. Down here, not a smoker, so in the ashtray I put my air-fuel ratio gauge so I can keep an eye on if the engine's running too rich, too lean, all that kind of stuff. Very, very nice tuning tool. Right now we have no stereo in this thing. I do plan on having one because it is a street car. We're working on that. We'll get there. And behind the driver's seat here, we have a big open cavern. When I was younger, about 19 years old, young and stupid, I decided I was going to put a big wall of stereo system back here. Things have changed. I have a family now. The rear seats are going to make their way back in here. I've got to do a little modification because I did too much modification getting rid of the old stuff. So I still have the original seats, thankfully. I just got to get them put back in. All right, let's go underneath the car a little bit and I'll show you what I've done. All right, underneath the car, we've done a little bit of modification here. Start with the spring packs. Originally only a 4-spring pack, now upgraded to a 6. Had a lot of wheel hop, ended up actually bending the top leaf on the driver's side here. Showing you the passenger side, obviously. Clamps, I've changed them. I've got 1 in the back. I've got 3 in the front. Try and keep the front a little stiffer, get a little more traction out of it. It's done not too bad. Just basically eliminated all the wheel hop, which is awesome. I've got racing shocks in here, more for cornering than drag racing because I want to be able to handle on the street and stuff if something happens to jump out in front of me, animal, stupid driver, whatever. I don't want drag shocks in this car because I don't need a sloppy suspension. I want nice, tight, be able to get rid of that stuff. The rear differential is no longer the old 241 geared long-legged highway cruiser. Still a little bit long-legged. We got a 308 posi in here now, so it still burns the tires quite well, does reasonable on the highway. Put this rear diff cover on, which is nice. Has these little caps right here, these little bolts that go in and push on the main caps for the rear differential, the main bearing supports. And what that does, you torque those to a specified torque, and it keeps the rear diff from wanting to spit the gears out the back as easy, which is nice. I kind of want to keep them in the rear diff for now till I can upgrade and get an even bigger, better, stronger diff. Exhaust system underneath here, we have a Flowmaster exhaust system, American Thunder exhaust system, H-pipe, headers, everything's nice. This car sounds pretty nice, I've been told. So yeah, that's what we've done underneath here. Another upgrade has been the U-bolts here, which these Camaros from the factory had the inside U-bolt, and then on the outside here was little T-bolts. There was no big U-bolt here, so I got rid of the T-bolts. They're kind of weak. We put in the U-bolts, upgraded to, I believe these are 1/2 inch now instead of the 7/16 ones that were in there. Done all these upgrades because that engine I showed you is pushing somewhere around an estimated 450 horsepower. So we want to keep things a little more together than what the factory would have. Right, from the side here, Camaro is a unibody car, which means it has a front subframe, it has a rear subframe. So what I've done, when I put the big block in, I did not want to twist this car up. These are subframe connectors. They attach the front subframe to the rear subframe, stiffen the whole car up a lot. Another thing I did, if we look up in here, you can see these aluminum body pucks to keep things a little more planted to the frame, so there's not as much twisting and body give and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I did not want to twist this car up. I love this car. It's my baby. You keep it together as long as we can. This has been fun because I don't have a hoist here to at my brother-in-law's shop here in Mackenzie. I'm very thankful for him and his wife for letting me store my car here. It's in a nice heated shop. Thanks guys, appreciate it. So what I've got here in the front, you can see the springs. I got Eibach drop springs in the front. Again, the nice red racing shocks. Actually used to be blue, kind of fussy. I painted them. Sway bar bushings are blue. I ordered temporary ones. I have red ones now. I just have to swap them out yet. The sway bar right here has been upgraded. The factory one on this car was a 7/8 sway bar. This one is 1 1/8 inches in diameter. So it likes to plant the car, keep it nice and level as we're going around corners and stuff. This is the Z28 sway bar out of my old car that I totaled off. So that was a nice little upgrade. All the bushings in the front end here, I went through this last year. Brand new ball joints, top and bottom. Brand new bushings throughout the whole front end. Done some work to this thing. Again, they're all the polyurethane bushings, which I'm not entirely happy with because they squeak. But I do like how much they've firmed up everything. So there might be another spring bushing upgrade, or not the springs, just the bushing upgrade to Delrin bushings or something, or just upgraded tubular upper and lower control arms. Be a little ways down the road. I got lots of work yet to do. It's a project. We do that. That is my car. My baby. I love this thing. Like I said, I've had it for about half my life now. We got more upgrades planned for this thing. One of them is the battery here is going to get moved to the trunk. Just for better weight distribution in the car. Clean up the engine bay a little bit. I like things nice and clean and neat. Very fussy with my car. I need to get a little more fussy with the body because it's starting to get old. This thing has not had a paint job in the 17 years I've owned it. And it's sat in some lawn. And when lawn grass comes up and touches your car, it does nasty things like that. So eventually we will be doing a paint job on this car, clean up the body. I like the color. It's kind of grown on me over the 17 years. Lots of work to do. Like I said, move the battery to the trunk. which means to keep all the racing officials happy and everything, I'm going to have to run a night switch, they call it, on-off master disconnect for the battery. But I got to find somewhere to hide it. So I want things nice, neat, and clean. So yeah, any comments, questions, or concerns about my car, anything you want to know about it, shoot me a message on the Shattered Dreams Racing page, or just comment on this link, and I will do my best to answer them for you. So very also happy. I have a very supporting, loving wife. Otherwise, I would not have got this far in the last few years. Really appreciate all your support, Alicia. Thank you very much. And I'll talk to you guys later.